Before we begin this video, I want you to realize that you are free from thought. Just take a moment and notice that thoughts are appearing in you and they go away within you. They're passing by. It's like a stream of water that is moving, but instead of water is thought. Different thoughts, narratives that are informing you. They're talking to you. They are informing who you are or what you are. And I want you to realize in this moment that that's the case, which means that you must be that which contains the thought. And then realize that if that's who you are, then you are already free from thought. It's just that thoughts usually come up in a continuous way that feels like a very solid thing. But they are just made out of many thoughts that are coming through, and there are many who are informing us in terms of what we are. So with this realization, notice that when we talk about meditation, is about being one with the thought stream, whatever it is that's coming through, to be one with it. Not to be it, because that would be a limited portion of who you are, but rather to be that which contains the thought. And then gradually and gently start moving your attention away from thought and into that container, that self that you are, in which things are coming through, even sensations of the body. So meditation really is the curiosity that starts in us in terms of this self that contains all the mental activity, all the images, all the visions, all the memories, all the emotions and feelings of the body. This which we call I, and is aware. It is awareness. Awareness. It converts the ness at the end, converts it into a noun, into something out of the adjective of being aware. You are not aware. You are awareness. It's not something that you have. It is what you are. And from the analogy of the thought stream, instead of being something that contains it, and it contains, in this case, water, then you're speaking of awareness of things. And you notice that every single thing that you know is contained within this knowing field of awareness. So it's not even thoughts alone, but sensations and emotions, feelings, perceptions in general, that awareness is aware of. But it does not depend on those objective experiences. It is those experiences as well, but it does not depend on it. That's the key to realization, to noticing who you are. And in that knowledge, you remain as you are. Now, from this realization that you are free from thought is where we begin the path of deconditioning the mind or purifying the identities that have formed. So here's where we see the tendency. There is a tendency of awareness that is an attention to particular narratives that are informing us, because we have strengthened these narratives as part of ourselves, meaning they define us, they give us meaning. And those meaning we begin to see as from the lens of peace, which is who you are. We first establish this. We know that our self is not an agitated, conflicted, and depressed or anxious being. The field of awareness feels always empty, no problems, calm, peaceful. Any word that we use is usually in the direction of no agitation, no problem, no conflict. So from that understanding that that's what we fundamentally are, then we can rationally understand that the information that is coming through the thoughts that are defining me, are they congruent with this understanding, with my whole being, my real being? Are they really? Here's where the purification process begins, because we know that that's not who we are. We would have to be convinced of something different, of a different being, a different self that is not congruent with what we find when we look at our field of awareness, or rather the field of awareness that we are. So in this process, you begin to let go of all the things that do not serve you. But there is a tendency. This tendency seems like there is an effort to weaken it, to resolve this tendency to associate with ourselves. There are thoughts that come up and they tell us, oh, you did this and you did that, and you're a victim and you're the culprit of this, and so on. And so that tendency is softly and gently weakened by the realization that I am not that. Equally important, there might be a narrative that says you are beautiful, you are great, you are the best, and people should admire you, or whatever else may be. Instead of putting you down, it's putting you up there. And in this case, we realize that's not me. That's not who I am. I know for a fact that what I am is this peaceful being. And this is going to inform you in a way that the mind does not have any grip on. The mind cannot explain this. The mind cannot fabricate an identity anymore, because your identity is that with which everything is created, all types of identities. And they are playful for a moment, but they go away. And that is the peace, the passive understanding, is the peace that remains when there is no understanding of anything or association of anything. So this tendency actually is, it's not an effort to bring it back. It feels like that, just like when you tense your muscles, and you're naturally tense because you're stressed, and you say to yourself, I gotta make an effort to relax. I want you to pay attention to what that actually sounds like. I need to make an effort to relax. You don't make an effort to relax your muscles. You simply relax the tension. And in the same way with the mind, we relax the attention in this case, which is a sort of tension, a mental tension of awareness into the narrative, the current narrative, whatever that may be. So it's a constant relaxing of saying, oh, I'm not that. I am that which perceives this. I am the listener of the thought. I am the observer of the thought. All of these are great cues for the mind, but also it's okay to let them go and stay with what that refers to. Being the observer, being the listener is a sort of metaphor for awareness. To be the awareness of something, you don't really require a cue. You don't require an indication, an instruction. You simply recognize it. So in this constant relaxing, again, notice that this is not an effort. To meditate is not an effort or an activity that you have to do. It's a simple recognition. And formal meditation empowers this because there is full dedication to the relaxation of this tendency. Full dedication. But it's not reserved to formal meditation. You can also do it while you're in the middle of the daily activities. You can continue to relax the attention that is given to the narrative. And you'll see that actually that makes you, by default, be more present. And the more present you are, the more you're able to be more efficient at what you're doing, not overthinking, not doubting, because that's all part of the mind gameplay, not you. And this is what another metaphor is used, which is awakening. What is awakening? If you notice, when you start to come out of the narrative, you begin to see that, oh, I was living a narrative. I was living a story in my mind. And yes, there might be a tendency to go back to the narrative, to return to the narrative and get involved and merge with it. But then all you're doing is relaxing that tension, relaxing it back to yourself. And over time, you begin to see that I was living a dream. I was actually living in my head. And it was a narrative that does not define me. It feels like I'm waking up from a dream. The same way, when you begin to process your emotions through this understanding, you begin to see that, oh, I used to feel this way. It feels like I'm waking up from such a tendency of feeling this because of X, Y, and Z. So all of this just becomes really like being awake in yourself and realizing all that it was a sort of dream that you were living. Many dreams, actually. We don't live just one dream. We're constantly living different dreams that are narratives playing in our mind that are informing us and telling us who we are, whether that be in a grandiose way or the vast majority of us in a very diminished way. It's an identification with some useless, obsolete, negative pattern. So the takeaway here is that first, you have to realize that you are free from thought. You do not depend on the information that thought is giving to you in the moment, whatever that may be. It doesn't matter what sort of narrative is playing, you are free from that narrative. Realize that. It's very simple. Just notice how thoughts are simply coming and going, and you remain. Whatever you are, remain. Then you realize that what you are is awareness. You are not aware of thought. You are the awareness of thought. And you remain after the thought is gone. So after this, you begin to see that actually there is a tendency to go back to the thought and be informed and feel the impact of the narrative. Gently and softly, gradually, keep returning your attention back to its source, to you, to who you are, that awareness. Awareness of being. Awareness of being awareness. And in this lowering, this weakening of this tendency, then you simply remain there. You'll see that the narratives will become weaker and weaker over time. And over a long period of time or a short period of time, it depends on the intensity that we have associated with these thoughts, you'll begin to feel an awakening from this dream, from these stories, from these memories and narratives that have been playing. And this is the gradual awakening of the self, of who we truly are, to live the life that we want to live. And now a different intelligence is informing you. It's not the old intelligence of the mind, which has been keeping us in survival mode, but actually a new intelligence that informs the mind into what we want to do. And that's what we call our purpose, our dharma, what we're here to do. All because we realize just one thing, who we are. If you think this video is helpful to you and you want to learn more about this path, which is called the direct path to self-realization, then I'll invite you to go into my free community where you can get the resources and the courses available there for free so you can begin to understand this method and apply it. People have had marvelous results just by going into this and then joining the free calls that I have for support on this method, where you can get in the group calls and ask your questions, meditate with us, and just go deeper into this simple realization to resolve everything that we feel that is wrong within us. It's just a narrative. And if you want a more one-on-one guidance, then I'll leave a link also for you to book a call with me. If you feel like this is something that you need guidance with and you want to have somebody who can help you with your particular situation, then book a call with me. And what we'll do is that we'll figure out what is going on with your practice, where do you feel you need help, and how this can help you on an individual case. That's all I got for this video. Thank you so much for watching it. I hope it was helpful as usual, and I'll see you in the next video.